Good evening and welcome to McStabber Studios. I am, of course, Shanky McStabber, and tonight's episode is called The Road to Hell. This is episode 12, episode 2 of chapter 2, but episode 12 overall. And I, of course, Shanky McStabber, storyteller.
And I'm Relyn, Shanky's wife, and I play Lily Sanger, Primogen of Clan Toreador.
And I'm Lance. I play Steve Perry, the Primogen of the Clanless.
And, of course, as you can see, as said last week on the stream, we record these 2 episodes at a time because of our play schedule being every other weekend. 2 of the players were sick at the last minute, so Quartermain and Locke could not join us. So it's fine. There's enough story for just Steve and Lily that, they can stay home and get better and get well soon and join us back for the episode after this next week. So get well and, see you soon. So when we last left off in Archimedes' Fulcrum, the fallout from the events that over the last couple of days had come to a head, I think. Lily had found out that Wayland had embraced Raphael, his ghoul and honestly his best friend, embraced him without permission of the prince, which is a masquerade breach. Or not a masquerade breach, but a tradition break. Mm-hmm. And normally the penalty for such is the death of the child at a minimum. But oftentimes...
Usually the sire, too.
Oftentimes, as they say, the sin of father applies to the son. And so they both normally will be, if not destroyed, punished for their actions. But Lily is not really keen on that one. And then we go to Mr. Steve Perry, no relation, woke to find a ring of an interesting design after a dream of promises of power to make sure that he's not treated like he was in the past. Power corrupts. And for someone like Steve, who's in a lot of ways been abused as a kindred, especially in the beginning of your unlife, the road to power is one that you've started to walk and you've given up to humanity so far to it. So you're willing to pay prices. And we'll see where that ring came from and the full description of what it means to be filled with the coldness of death in due time. But you have a meeting tonight with Karina Dobson, Sinshaw to Stanford Warwick, and oddly enough, Sinshaw to Prince Vitel before her. A very capable Ventru.
She's cunning.
Obviously is good enough to have survived 2 princes. Mm-hmm. Both ones is their Sinshaw. Now, while she has never made a play to be prince herself, which makes her somewhat trusted in terms of a Sinshaw, because that is the first thing you worry about, is whether your own Sinshaw will try to remove you. The fact that she has survived a Lasombra prince, and then, of course, an Nosferatu, which is particularly bastard. It's quite telling in a lot of ways. So we're going to pick off right where we left off last time with you've got meetings coming up.
Yep, and I advised Thomas that I would like to still speak with George, but I will do so tomorrow. Okay. Just to see if he noticed any behavior patterns with the new guy.
Okay. So you're planning to go, you're supposed to meet with Karina at 12:30 or at 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock.
And you're going to leave at about 12:30, about the same time the vehicle comes to pick up Lily.
Mm-hmm.
Around 12:30 rolls around, and black GMC Jimmy pulls up out front.
Okay, and I have changed because I
Tinted
feel like
windows.
I need to dress appropriately to go to court.
Yep.
So
the windows are completely tinted.
Okay.
And it's about what you'd expect. It's looks like a government vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
It pulls up and just stops.
Okay.
Nobody gets out, and it just waits out front.
Okay, I walk out.
Okay. And when you come out, the back door opens. It just opens up.
Okay.
And there's nobody in the back seat.
Okay.
You can see the driver up front.
Okay. I get in.
Okay. When you get in, you know the signs of somebody who's been heavily dominated, and you can see it. The blank look, the no real reaction to you getting in the vehicle, just
doing a job.
Yeah, literally just stone-faced about it all.
Okay.
So you know what you're dealing with. You've seen it before.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as for Steve, this is about the time you can wait a little bit longer, but not much longer.
Right.
So are you just going to leave to get there early, or what's your plan?
Thomas already knows that he's taking me, so we'll get the ride ready and head out. It doesn't hurt to be a minute or two early.
Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't. So you go out, and Thomas is like, "Where are we going, sir?"
Lincoln Memorial.
Yes, sir. Am I going to be? Are you going to be all right wandering? Do you know? Because people walking around, we've been told that's a bad thing.
I don't believe that's going to be an issue, Karina.
If you say so, sir. I'll listen to you. Lily'd be upset if you got arrested, but I mean, as long as you don't get arrested, I'm fine with it.
As far as I know, this will not be an issue.
Okay. So you ride over. You're going over there. Lily, you're being taken through the city.
Okay. I'm making note of where I'm going.
Okay. Okay.
I want to know where I'm going.
Okay. Right now, you're just riding through the city.
Mm-hmm.
You end up being taken to the Washington Convention Center, same place where we had coordination, down into the basement parking.
Okay.
And when you get down there, he pulls in. He stops by just a nondescript door.
Okay.
And he just kind of points at it and doesn't say a word, just points.
Okay.
And the guard looks to be, middle-aged.
Okay.
He's or not guard, but the
driver.
He's obviously used to driving, but yeah, he barely blinks. He doesn't really. He almost looks like he's on autopilot.
Okay.
He just points at the door.
And I thank him for delivering me safely.
And
And
he doesn't.
that's fine. I'm still going to do it because even if he's dominated all to heck, I'm going to show appreciation. And I request that if he hasn't already been told so, to please wait for me to return me.
Okay.
And I go in.
When you go over to the door, and the door has obviously got a lock on it, though. When you try the knob, it opens right up.
Okay. I walk in.
And you walk inside, and what appeared to be just a standard door, you go inside, and it's a small room. There's a camera, and there's a guard at a desk, and an elevator behind him.
Okay. Do I recognize the guard?
No. It's nobody you've seen before, but it's an obvious guard. He looks down. You would be Miss Lily Sanger, correct?
Yes. Head to the elevator.
Okay. And as you approach it, it opens automatically.
Okay.
When you get inside, there's no buttons.
Okay.
It's just a blank, it's a nice elevator,
Mm-hmm.
but there's no markings, no buttons, no keys, no phone.
Nothing.
It's just an empty blank elevator.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not ugly, it's nice.
Mm-hmm.
But it's obvious one that you're not meant to be able to
Control.
use or control.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It's meant for someone else to use or control.
Mm-hmm.
And when you step in the elevator, it just begins to descend. And it descends not a crazy long time, but longer than you would have expected.
Okay.
Though it does feel like it's moving rather slowly. It's a very cushioned start and stop. None of that jerk feeling that you're used to in a lot of the elevators.
Mm-hmm.
And when it comes down, it opens up into a very nicely decorated, with very fine furniture. It looks, a lot of it's Victorian age, as a matter of fact. It's almost like a sitting room.
Mm-hmm.
It could also be considered a audience, or more of a waiting room.
Like a reception?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's several nice chairs,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a large set of double doors. Apparently, he has found an almost actual throne room of all things.
It's beautiful.
You don't know who had it built or where it came from. We're going to stop there for a second. Now we're going to cut over to Steve. Your trip over to Lincoln Memorial was pretty uneventful, honestly. The roads are clear. It doesn't take you long at all, and you pull up. It takes you not even 10 minutes to get there from the club. I mean, it's pretty empty. And there's no other cars parked when you get there in the area you normally park. But you can't park close. You've got to get out and walk anyway. But when you get there and you get out of the car, a guard actually walks over to you. And he looks at you a second. And he looks down at something in his hand and he looks at you. And then just walks off. So Karina has obviously alerted certain individuals to allow you to pass and not to give you any hassle. It's odd that this whole area is so dead at this. All you see is a couple wandering police officers, but I mean, even at night, though the memorial itself is not really closed, but kind of closed, you normally see one or two people. There's nobody tonight in the area because the curfew is in effect. It's after the time. And as you walk up, it's dimly lit. The lights aren't at full power. And there's nobody. It's almost eerie. The sounds you're used to hearing, nothing. And so you wait for Karina to arrive. When you step out of the elevator, you're just left in the audience room. The doors are closed, and you're just
Waiting.
waiting.
I want to pop Cincy Unseen while I'm here.
Okay, go ahead. It's going to be resolve all specs.
I'm going to rouse for resolve. And I succeeded.
Remember, you got blood potency now, so you
I did. I added that.
Added that
I
bonus
roused for one more.
and you didn't get hungrier.
Nope. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Right?
Yeah. Nothing?
Nothing. It's actually void of. You don't see any Nosferatu. You don't see any ghosts.
Will this stay up when I go to the next
One
room?
scene, yes.
Okay.
This is
'Cause
considered the
I
whole
want
meeting
this
with the
up.
prince is a scene. So
I want this up.
okay, yeah, because this is considered a scene.
Okay.
Okay. You're just gonna wait around until the doors.
I'm not going to go banging on his door. He knows I'm coming to see him.
Yep, but you're slightly early.
I'm
It's
slightly
not quite
early.
1
I'll
o'clock
wait.
yet.
I will wait.
Okay. So,
And keep my composure the whole time.
so both of y'all are waiting.
Mm-hmm.
Karina arrives about 5 minutes to 1, and you've seen her car. You know her vehicle. You know, it pulls up, and out comes the woman in a smartly dressed suit skirt. You know, it's a business suit with a skirt. It's power suit for a woman in her way. She's got her clipboard as always with her. Her brown hair seems to be pulled back into a, not a bun, but pulled back into a ponytail behind her to keep it out of her face as she walks up. And she's walking just like that normal, you've seen it before, that smart, always, you know, I've got somewhere important to be, don't get in my way look. It's very much Karina. And as she's approaching, you can hear the click-clack of her shoes as she's coming. At 1 o'clock exactly, the door opens.
Okay.
Stanford opens the door.
Oh, interesting. I stand and I curtsy to him, my prince. Thank you so much for meeting with me.
Primogen Lily,
Mm-hmm.
I was told you wanted to have a private meeting. So.
Yes, unfortunately, some urgent matters have come up that I need to discuss with you.
Well, do come in.
Thank you.
You know the rule about ceremony between us when
When private.
we're alone. So just please come in.
Thank you.
And he escorts you into, actually, it almost is a throne
It's a
room. It
throne
doesn't have a full throne,
He likes
but
his
it's
Victorian
a nice
chair.
Victorian high-backed chair.
Mm-hmm.
And the room is decorated with some of the tapestries you think are 2, 3, some maybe even older than that, 400 or 500-year-old tapestries on the
I'm
wall.
looking around and I'm appreciating the view, and I'm like, I love what you've done with the place.
You roll. What would you want to roll to about art and stuff? Where would you go? What do you think you should be rolling?
That's going to be.
I mean, it technically could be some academics because that would be part of your classes. You took art classes and shit, but you're also a Torador, so
I would really think that would be an etiquette roll.
for about where the art might have come from?
Maybe, or. Hang on.
Intelligence for sure.
Okay, so definitely intelligence. Awareness.
It's more about instinct or what's going on. Academics, maybe. Not technology.
Insight.
Finance, even.
Insight.
Insight is more of people's thing. You can go with finance, though, if you want. Intelligence finance.
Doesn't
See if
really
it
make
wor-
any damn difference.
No, it doesn't. It wouldn't be your teaching specialty because you didn't
Well,
teach. Or did you teach art? You never said. Are you an English teacher?
I was an English teacher.
So you can go intelligence academics or just curious to see if you recognize any of the pieces.
All right, I'm gonna rouse for an
It's
intelligence.
up to you.
Okay.
Did you fail?
I know I got it.
You got it?
Yeah.
Okay. So you didn't get hungry?
No.
Damn. There's no hunger this game.
And that's 4, 5.
There's several fine pieces of art.
Mhm.
Not just the some of the tapestries
Or pricey.
are pricey as
are
well.
valuable.
One of the tapestries, or a few of the tapestries in particular, are, you know, that they were made most likely in Vienna
Mm-hmm.
around 1600 AD,
Mm-hmm.
which would be odd for the Nosferatu to be having hanging.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. They can be hoarders.
You also know there was a Tremere that had links with Vienna
Mm-hmm.
long ago as prince.
Mm-hmm.
Whether this is the same throne room she used is a
That could be.
different discussion.
That could be.
There is some art you definitely think is his, though, because there are some Victorian and around the Revolutionary time art. You also see a flag that you swear it's an original U.S. 13 colonies flag that you think might actually be real, authentic from the time. It's got battle damage. It's got some burn marks. It's yellowed with age. But you think that might actually be.
I divert just a little bit towards that.
Okay.
And I say, one day, Stanford, I would love to hear the story of this.
Upstarts. But we know how it turned out.
Yes, we do.
I keep it as a memory.
I bet. I would love to hear the story one day.
Perhaps. Perhaps. When I'm in a chatty mood, maybe.
Maybe.
And he goes and he sits in his chair,
Mm-hmm.
and he doesn't offer you a seat.
Of course not.
It's not that casual.
No, it's not that casual.
So, Primogen,
Yes.
Lily, what can I do for you tonight?
Well, I appreciate you making the time for me, truly. I know you are exceptionally busy, as we all right now, but there's unfortunate business of an urgent nature, and I'm looking around. I didn't see anybody, any shadows,
Nope.
nothing? Okay. Okay. There's been an issue with a tradition breach.
Interesting. And you bring this to me instead of my sheriff?
Yes.
I'm intrigued.
Your herald, unfortunately, in the heat of the moment, sired a child last night. However,
Please go on.
as Wayland, and even his child, who was
And who is this child?
Raphael, his ghoul, both of them have been quite beneficial to me. I would like to request that the favor I earned with you may be stated to have been granted to me to be able to have a child, the right of progeny. And I decided to give that leave to Wayland.
Interesting.
He realizes that he made a very grievous mistake.
Well, you see, there is a small problem with this proposal, as you put it, of transfer of favor. And that is, I have not given you permission
I'm aware
to
of
take
this.
child. I have given no one.
I understand this.
So, this is problematic. Not quite sure it can be done. What does he offer to me? What reason would I have to keep him? Either of them.
Well, Raphael, of course, is yet to be seen as he is newly embraced. But I believe there is a lot of potential in him. He is very cunning. He is very intelligent. He has uses. Wayland, I guarantee you, will be one of the best heralds you've ever had.
for your favor you have done. I shall be lenient and allow Waylon to live. Raphael shall be forfeit. As per the traditions, the child will pay for the sins of the sire.
I do understand your position on this. I am also a traditionalist at heart. But as my favor with you is not enough to spare both, let's try a different story.
Why do I think I'm not going to enjoy what you're about to say?
I promise I'll make it as gentle as I can. The transfer of progeny was done. I will ensure no one tells Felix that you ordered Stephen's assassination last night.
And what would make you think that I ordered such a thing?
When I asked your sheriff as he did it in front of me, he told me.
And what makes you think I'd care if it was told?
At this point, you are still solidifying your rule. Felix in no way is completely bound to you yet. And if he were to find out at this exact moment, I guarantee he would run his ventru mouth all over the tower. I enjoy working with you, Stanford. Truly, I do. I don't want to see you undermined this early in your bid for power here.
So my rose has thorns, does she?
Indeed she does. But what I will offer you for agreement to this situation is I will ensure...
Do you think you can get away with this?
Actually, I do. Please continue to let me speak.
Oh, please. I would, of course, as prince, surely allow my primogen to finish blackmailing me. Please go on before I destroy you.
Go ahead. If you destroy me, it'll be done within a matter of moments.
What will be done?
Felix will be made aware as well as anyone else willing to listen. But I will ensure that my little birds never speak a word of it if I'm granted what I want. And I will be your loyal little bird in the Primogen Council.
So you threaten to undermine my rule, but at the same time, offer to undermine your fellow Primogen. You do know by doing that, you're increasing my power at the cost of the Primogen Council.
Perhaps.
Oh, no, there's no perhaps about it. So let's go into detail. Let's say I was entertaining this proposal of a trade. What exactly would you be telling me from the council?
What alliances are being formed? What machinations are being discussed? Yes. All the things a prince needs to be aware of when a Primogen council is trying to outmaneuver them.
And if there were a certain interest I might have, certain activities, would you be willing to back them on the council?
Do understand, as long as it doesn't cause detriment to my own clan interests. Absolutely.
And how do I know that you will give me this information? How do I know you'll not just take this trade and then not
deliver? Stanford, have I ever proven to you to not tell you what you need to know? We've worked together before. Have I not proven loyalty to you?
How about this? You will drink of my blood once. One step towards the bond. One finger upon you.
Done. If that's what it takes for you to believe that I am truly loyal.
It's a sign. It's not all three, but one's a good start.
Done.
So if I were entertaining, well, let's call it like it is, not mince words, this blackmail,
It's a deal.
this extortion, I would allow Wayland and Raphael to live.
Mm-hmm.
And in return, you would be my agent on the Primogen Council.
Indeed.
It's an interesting proposal. And what's to stop you from, again, letting this get out? And what's to stop me from just murdering you and ignoring it?
You could murder me. However, I have an exit strategy, if that were to happen. That if I do end up dusted, it gets spread like wildfire.
I will say, you roses always were willing to roll the dice. Let me think.
And
A minute or two.
truthfully, Stanford, I will drink of your blood if that's what it takes. But I promise you, if you agree to my terms and we come to a resolution on this, no one will speak a word to Felix or anyone else. It dies in this room.
As does your favor with me.
I understand that. My favor for the lives or unlives of two kindred, worth it.
I agree. We will make this pact.
Very well.
And he offers out his arm.
I take a drink.
You can taste the potency. You've not drank a blood this strong before. Only other vampires you've tasted was, of course, Rachel and your sire. Because you did feed off your sire from once in a while. It's one of those things he did. Especially when you return the night of your turning. It's potent blood. Though the fact you're drinking from a Nosferatu disturbs you a bit.
Of course, but I do what I have to. I knew this would have a cost.
And it does. And it does.
And then I tell him, there is one other thing I need to notify you of, and this is just a courtesy to you so you are aware.
More?
Oh, of course. There's always something. Rachel will not be represented.
Oh, do tell, do tell.
She was truly beyond saving. She was out of control. And honestly, a risk to not just myself as her adopted sire, but every single one of us. The risk of Masquerade breach with her was very high. So I took it upon myself to destroy her completely. See if he's aware of that term.
She was your child?
Mm-hmm.
The roses want to pull up the weeds, not my problem.
You know, sometimes you have to mulch some things so other roses grow.
But what will Daddy Chaz think?
Oh, I wish I cared. His opinion of me matters very little, especially considering his status is pretty much dirt at this time.
So be it.
Yeah.
I do not care about the death of...
I just wanted to notify you, though, that there is one less kindred to be future presented to you.
One less Torador. Given how you're acting, there's no sweat off my back. I would appreciate it now
I
if
will
you
take-
leave my presence
Absolutely. Thank you for your time.
and do not drop in for social visits.
Aware. And I turn around and leave.
Clan Nosferatu has a long memory. Lily Sanger.
Mm. And I just walk out.
We'll see. Okay. Karina comes up to you.
Hello,
Hello,
Karina.
Steve.
Hello, Karina. I'm here alone, as requested.
You've been a naughty boy.
Yes, I was.
Well, you'll be happy to know that I was able to remove your part of the conversation. Well, the location from your side of the conversation. Unfortunately, you did say your name, Steve Perry. So Steve Perry might not want to pop up on any kind of searches for a little while. But where you made the phone call from will not be found. For some reason, the cell phone records of what towers you were using were misplaced.
Shame that happened.
A shame. But, you see, when you called me and I looked into it, it turns out you do know the other end of the line was the Chantry, the Octagon House,
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
And you do know, of course, that that's a landline. It's a little harder to lose some records from that. I was unable to do much with that. Now, I'm going to tell you a little story. I know you're not used to me doing story time. This is an interesting night. It seems during the riots, all this commotion and problems, seems several groups of armed men stormed the Chantry and the Octagon House, you see. And while they were not successful at whatever they were attempting to do, oddly enough, in their possessions was found several crosses and markings that identify them, of course, as members of the Society of St. Leopold. Now, I'm sure you know. So, it makes one wonder that during all this chaos, how did, well, let's just say it, Second Inquisition come to find out about the Octagon House and the Chantry? And it seems that if somebody were, I don't know, might have been directly responsible for that little snafu, well, the Pontifex wouldn't be happy with them. And let's just say that any newly acquired power they might have might go away. You know, since we're this hypothetical.
Of course.
If this individual were, say, a primogen, they might not be one any longer. And, well, most kindred do not look well on any appearance of one kindred using the Second Inquisition to get another kindred that's frowned on. So what do you think of my little story, Steve? And she flashes her Karina smile that you've seen before. But it's not what you've seen it, and every other time you thought it was a smile, but you see
It's not
it's a
quite
shark.
Yeah. It's not quite a real smile.
Yeah, she's grinning like a shark.
It's the
that's
predator
caught.
smiling at you.
Yes. Because she believes, no doubt, she has me in her.
Oh, she thinks she's got something here. So what do you think of my little story?
That's quite an intriguing little story you have. I mean, just imagine that it's what a coincidence that the Second Inquisition would just happen to show up.
You know, a lot of things happen during riots, and
Oh, yeah.
you know, if no records are found, of course, then it could just be a badly timed, you know, or somebody saw an opportunity. But if records were found that linked phone calls to certain programs to, I don't know, say a squad being sent out under the cover of the riots, Well, the one that those records named would. Hey, well, we've discussed. I told you how the story would end. I'm not much of a writer, of course. So, what do you think, there, Steve?
Well,
have you read this book before?
I've read similar stories, and it strikes me that it would be much to the benefit of one person, say, that these records not be found.
So let's talk frank here.
I was expecting
It
a
was
price.
enjoyable to play the game for a bit, but let's put it out on the table. I've got the records that show your phone call led to a raid.
I have no doubt that you do.
And right now, I've got hold of them. And I can keep them suppressed. I can keep others from seeing them or from knowing, because let me be, explicit here. The Pontifex is upset.
Oh, I imagine he is.
While they repelled the attack, the Chantry cannot be used because it's known now. It's been attacked once. He must relocate. It upsets him. And while I find it amusing to see him upset, you wouldn't. So, were I to keep these records, Stanford would not find out, of course, because, well, we all know how our dear prince would take this from his new primogen. That he showed, so much hope that a Kaitif could finally set in the council would obviously discount that theory he had of his, which
Karina,
I'll keep to myself.
Karina, let's cut. What is your price?
You've learned well. Very good. We've got a price. I will suppress the records. You, on the other hand, are going to tell me everything said in the Primogen Council. You are going to, when necessary, push certain agendas and things I'd like to see handled. And depending on my desires, you will either back or oppose feelings. And in return for this, Lily doesn't find out that it came from your phone in her club. And Stanford doesn't find out that one of his primogen, even by mistake, it doesn't give the appearance one of his primogen took a shot at another primogen by using the Inquisition. And as far as the Pontifex will know, this was a long-standing plan that they were waiting to have. And I'll make sure that certain documents that prove that fact come to hand. Of course, I'll also have documents that will show those were false flag and implicate you or something unfortunate happened to me.
Oh.
And the shark's grin is back. I suspect we're going to have an understanding, aren't we?
Yes, I believe we will. I would have expected no less.
Well, I do like you. I owe you for Guido, so I'm not going to get you destroyed out of hand. And if I get something for my trouble out of it, of course, it makes me happy.
I think we have an agreement.
And I'll try not to have you speaking for me too often, but the info's the biggest part. I want to know what's going on in that council.
You always know everything somehow. I suspect this is not the first arrangement you've made of this kind.
I have been in my position a very long time. And the key to surviving Vitel and in Stanford is information. That is my business. And while Mr. Nathan thought he had the corner on it, he never did understand how to properly use leverage. Well, I think we have a business arrangement. She actually shakes your hand like a professional.
Okay, we do.
I'll be in touch. Have a good night, though, and I hope the club, I've heard rumors the club survived, but I hope everything went fine. And you guys had a did you have a restful night? You don't look like you had a restful night, but hopefully you got, weren't too much in it.
The smoke in the club was a little upsetting.
Before I leave, it's funny you mentioned that. Rumor has it that the fire down the street from Lily's club matches the pattern of some other strange fires and arson-related events we've seen, in particular near my haven. If you get any more info,
you'd appreciate hearing it.
Yes, because if they're trying to burn you guys out and tried to burn me out, might be something Stanford should look into. So,
I will be sure to let you know.
Thank you.
So that you may present that to Stanford.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying I'll take credit for all the info, but you are learning fast, aren't you? I look forward to a profitable arrangement. Have a good night, though, Steve.
Good night.
And then she just turns around and click, clack, click, clack. There goes her up the walk with her heels.
And
you're
make
left
my,
alone.
Make my way back to Thomas.
So Lily's heading back. When you get back out of the elevator, the driver
Is there?
is there.
Okay. I follow him to the car.
As soon as you get back in the car, he takes you right back
To the club.
to the club.
Okay.
Straight there, straight back.
Perfect.
Steve, I assume when you get back, Thomas is like, "Are you done, sir?"
I'm done with this. But
Is that Karina? Because Thomas hasn't really met Karina but once in the club.
And she wasn't looking like that.
Right. Is that Karina?
Is she hot?
Yes, that was correct.
Warn him off.
She wasn't one of your kind. I'd say tasty, but I think
Don't
a flip.
Don't.
Yeah, I think that I'd be tasty.
Yeah,
Don't.
Cute though.
Yeah, very much.
Not as cute as Lily, of course. Don't.
Of course not.
You understand them.
We understand each other. But
So where to?
But Karina has quite a bite. If you understand.
Well, so does Lily.
No, this one's not as pleasant.
If you say so. So where are we headed, sir? We're going.
I do have another destination.
Okay.
If you could just drop me off there, and then you can go back to the club.
Okay. Where are we going?
We're going over to the Hotel Washington.
No problem. I took y'all there before with the guy who used to be in charge, right?
Yeah, that's right.
He's gone, right? Because the few times I got a glimpse when he came to the club, he kind of creeped me out. He's a little bit, yeah. Something set my teeth on edge, Yeah. So, okay, yeah, that's not a problem. You don't need me to wait. You can.
No, just go back to the club.
Okay, and yeah, he takes you straight over to Hotel Washington, and waits until you walk in before he drives off. Right. And when you come inside, of course, as soon as you walk in, the doorman opens the door for you, and you walk in the lobby. Welcome to Hotel Washington. Can I help you, sir?
Yes.
And the front desk has got, there's 3 girls. Even though it's late, this is the Hotel Washington. There's not just one person on the desk, because when you're paying to stay here, you're paying.
Yeah.
Can I help you, sir?
Yes, I have an appointment to see a friend of mine.
Sure. What room number?
And it's whatever it was, 3 something. I forget.
326.
326. Yes.
Yes, I see it right here. I was told to let you up. Just go tell the guy at the elevator that you're going up, and he'll take you to the right floor. And when you go over to the elevator, there's
A bellhop.
a bellhop that runs the elevator for you.
Okay.
You go up to the 3rd floor, and when you step out, he doesn't watch you, but the elevator waits until he sees you approach.
Well, after I exit the elevator, I turn back to him and tip him a $5.
Okay. Thank you. And then he actually does close the elevator and leaves. He's hoping to, a little bit of money, or see what room so he could bug them, to tell everyone else that no tipper, and give them shitty service. When you get to the door, of course, these are big rooms up here. So, knock on the door.
Yeah.
Okay. When the door opens, of course, is actually Dr. Ludlow answers.
Oh.
Steve. Good evening.
Dr. Ludlow.
Welcome. Come on in, Steve. Come on in. We're old friends. We can talk. And you've seen the hard look that's in his eyes. You know where he's at on his scale.
Right.
He is not.
He's all business.
Yeah, he is not. Doesn't have an abundance of ethics at the moment. Seems kind of odd you dropped in. What can I do for you? Of course, I'm obviously still thankful for taking care of helping out.
Sure.
Dr. Philo is taking care of some of his businesses.
Well, we have a little bit to discuss. This is in relation to Lily. She is engaging in some
Politics.
yeah. Well, I'm gonna say like some hard discussions at the moment, or hard diplomacy. May not have a good outcome.
She in trouble again? When is she?
Oh, this is
That
a whole
girl
new,
gets in
this is a
trouble an
whole new
awful
level.
Oh, she gets in trouble an awful lot. But do go on. Do go on. I'm interested to see what help she needs because, of course, I'm at all of you service.
Well, this is kind of an insurance policy that we need to talk about. In case her diplomatic actions don't go as well as she had hoped.
Is this a life insurance policy of that type?
It would... Unlife would already be forfeit at that point.
Yes, but
This is...
do go on. I get the gist of what you're talking about here.
Okay. Lily, in trying to... Let's see, how can I explain this best? This is...
This is difficult enough.
Yeah, it is.
But at least he's rational.
Yes.
Because explaining it to the other Ludlow...
Yeah, it might not have worked out at all. Well, let's just say Lily is looking to blackmail the prince. And she has reason to.
Hang on. I deal with unsavory types all the time. They're actually quite amusing. It's quite enjoyable when you poke around in their head a bit. Did you just say that Lily is blackmailing?
Well,
Prince?
you could broadly call it blackmailing.
No. There's either you blackmailing or you're not. There's no...
She is.
Okay, thank you. In my professional opinion, as a psychiatrist and with impressive credentials, Stanford is a sociopathic bastard that borders on psychotic, and my advice would be not to try to blackmail someone of that
Well, at this point, it's too late.
persuasion.
But
She always does go straight into it. Okay, so I
But
don't know what I can do to help, but
she believes she has a great deal of leverage in this particular instance. However, it has the potential to go wrong.
I bet.
And should it, she has some information that she would like to be broadcast
So
widely.
I see the insurance. The insurance is, of course, whatever she's using to blackmail. If something happens to her, it needs to
leak.
to get out.
Yes, exactly.
And obviously, you're not the first choice because, well, you're associated with her.
Yes.
Coterie. I am tertiarily associated with the two of you, of course, because we share that rotten bastard Granger, though I do admire the skill which he can practice my craft, but not the way he acts outside of it. So what is this info I'm supposed to spread around?
Well, Stanford ordered some, let's just say he was cleaning house.
So Stanford wanted people killed.
Yes, to put it bluntly.
Oh, I've met Stanford. He probably has a long list of people that he wants to get cleaned.
Yes. Now, he also had made it very clear to the person he was telling this to that his name not be mentioned or brought into it. However, it was. And I was there at the time. I can verify this.
So you could verify it if someone was using other means to check for lying. So that's good. That makes you a weak link in the chain. I mean, I don't have much experience in this, but my patients usually do, and it's interesting what you pick up. But I also know that just the rumor of some things can work as well as actual evidence anyway. So interesting. So she asked me to distribute this if something happens to her,
Yes.
or to her and you, to one or the other, both.
If I do not hear from Lily by text before an hour before sunrise, this is to go into effect.
At this point, he's meeting with Ludlow probably about
During the time I'm meeting with Stanford.
You're meeting with
My
Stanford. He started his with Karina at 1,
I
and yours
started-
at 1.
Mine took longer.
By a little bit, but yeah, so it's close. And then he had to ride over to the hotel. So it's about the
And
time
I'm
you're
not
leaving.
texting shit in
Well, I
Karina's
know, but it's
vehicle.
the time you're leaving.
Yeah,
So yeah, that's.
yeah. I'm waiting until I
mean,
get secure before I text.
I owe Lily. I owe all of you for what you did to save me. So of course I'll do it. And I do not consider us even. But that's neither here nor there, of course. Granted, what's the life of, one kindred, but we've got eternity to figure that out. So, of course. Tell her I'll accept. Now, of course, I can't speak for me when I fed, but I'll still remember once I feed, or when I'm hungry again, I'll still remember the conversation. I'm not sure how aware you are of my sick condition, but I always remember what happened. It's just, well, I also don't remember. Hungry me remembers. Fed me does not. So,
Even if you fed now, you would be hungry eventually, and you would remember.
exactly. Yes, this is not a problem. Actually, it's a decent plan in a lot of ways. It makes sense. Yes, I don't think I need to take any additional steps. We have a deal. It's fine. It's not a problem.
Stanford ordered the death of Stephen.
Felix's buddy.
Felix's friend.
The Nosferatu that just kind of appeared in the corner.
Yes.
The chainsaw, I don't know his name, but the guy with the chainsaw was
Yes.
him and Felix. I can see the complication. Yes, if Stanford got him killed and Felix is the ventral primogen, newly placed primogen, it might cause unnecessary tension.
Yeah, Stephen just pledged fealty.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Not that.
again, it's one kindred.
Right.
There's a lot of us. The loss of Stephen's no great loss, but I can see where the prince may not want that to come out. Oddly enough, I think the biggest harm to his reputation would be the fact that his sheriff runs his mouth. Shows a lack of judgment.
How did you know that?
It's not my first rodeo. When you do what I do for a living, you build psychological profiles. I build them on kindred as well. Don't think that just because you're not kind, I don't build dossiers. Extensive dossiers. I might know some of you better than you know yourselves, at least. So, yes. There's no way the prince wanted his name associated. I mean,
No, he did not.
It would only end badly for that. At the beginning of his rule, well, let's see, in a few months it wouldn't matter, but in the beginning it would, and it would complicate things. So yes, he would never want that to go out. And again, if he picks a sheriff that can't keep his mouth shut, he has a sheriff that is useless in the eyes of the kindred. Now, whether that's true or not is not for me to say. Oddly enough, it doesn't fit the profile I built on Quartermain to have said it. So I'll have to amend my documents a bit. I don't have enough experience to build an accurate one. Of course, it's still ongoing. Someday we'll have to meet and I'll talk about what I've got in Granger's.
I would love to hear that.
It's an interesting folio of info.
I would absolutely love to hear about that.
You say that. Sometimes it's best not knowing. Well, actually, no, it's not.
Your phone buzzes.
Oh, 1 second. Let me get this. Okay, and
It's a text from Lily. All good.
The insurance policy does not need to be carried out
Tonight.
tonight.
Who's to say he won't?
Offer later.
That's right.
She better be careful. Her blackmail leverage is of limited usefulness in terms of time.
Yes.
She better make sure she's useful because Nosferatu, do not forget. And our prince in particular. He's been known to blow people up.
Yes.
Remember,
I've heard.
Sociopathic, bordering on psychotic. It's actually common in kindred of his age. If it wasn't for the rules, I could write a whole book on kindred. It's quite interesting when you look at the age and the psychological aspects that goes. And now he's going straight into the doctor
The
mode again.
psychoanalysis.
Yeah.
And I'll stand here listening with rapt attention.
Okay. So you stay for about an hour as he just goes on about, he'd love to write a book because he's been analyzing and sees the pattern as the elders get older, their detached humanity and the psychological effects that creep in, the abnormalities and who they are. It's fascinating if you were a psychiatrist. You could tell he would probably do a seminar on it if he could, but you also know that's a masquerade breach. But you're definitely seeing Ludlow at Hunger 4. He is overly clinical about his discussions, and it's definitely not tied with much ethics or emotion to it.
And Lily has sent Thomas back to wherever he dropped. Lily doesn't even ask. She just says, go back to where you dropped off Steve. Be ready for him.
Okay. So when you come out of the thing, you didn't expect to run into Thomas, but right out front of the hotel is the SUV waiting.
Hey, Thomas. What? I sent you.
Lily sent me. She said, come get you.
Wonderful. All right, let's go home.
Home?
Well,
your home?
the club.
Thank you, because your home, as I recall, was out
It's
of the
elsewhere.
city.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, we'll go back to the club. And he takes you back to the club. And you know what? This is the perfect time to take the break because we just resolved it. So it was an interesting first half. Lily blackmailed Stanford Warwick, the bastard.
Do we have time for me to go to Wayland or?
We'll do that right after the break because
Okay.
that's going to be a little longer of a scene.
Not too long. But...
First, you've got to talk with Steve.
Yeah, and then I got to head over to Wayland.
Right, and then you got to head to Wayland because you want to make sure that
this is completed tonight, that I get the bond with them before Stanford tries to. Lily's all about beating the clock tonight.
get it started at least.
Yeah.
So, it'll be best to do that after break because that's
Okay.
probably going to be a longer scene. And
Okay.
I like to take the break here. Plus, I need a restroom break too once in a while. So it's been an interesting first half though. Lily's blackmailing a prince, but Steve, and you're getting blackmailed, and you notice the theme of the blackmail is what's interesting because both of you are doing the same things. Lily's being asked to spy for Stanford, or she
offered to.
But Steve is being asked to be the spy for his Sinshaw.
Right. Their interests may overlap at times and otherwise not.
They may
at all.
oppose.
Not. That's right. And in both cases,
Because you can't tell me Karina is all about being Sensual forever. Okay.
in both cases, though, it also involves from time to time being the mouthpiece or to push their agenda instead of your own. And I find it funny from Karina's point of view that she also has basically told you there'll be times where she wants you to oppose Felix, her own primogen. Though technically as a Sensual, she's above him. But he's the primogen, so he speaks for them. So that'll be an interesting thing. So we'll be back in 10 minutes, and I hope everyone's enjoying it so far because this was
It's
I know my
craziness.
wife has been planning the Stanford thing since
God, for a month.
a month now, and she didn't know how it was going to end, but she had it all planned out. And while Steve knew bad shit was coming, he didn't know the full extent of where it was going to go, but he knew there was consequences, and it was coming down on his head. So
Yeah.
we'll be back in a few
Sit
in 10
tight.
minutes, so we take a quick break, and see you soon.
Allow me to introduce myself, though I fear you've heard my name, and that you've heard the story of Countess Bathory. History is told by the victors, heroic warriors, and mad kings. Will you hear my story? From the lips of Bathory, they call me Blood-sucking demon, queen of hell, sadistic killer, a monster tale, bathing in the blood of virgins, beautiful, drinking the blood of virgins, beautiful, the blood countess. Who is she really? Who is she really? Blood countess. Who is she really? Is she blood Bathory? I was very wealthy and powerful, a widow with political rivals keen to destroy me and take my property. My plea was never offered, all my confessors were all tortured, or how they destroyed me. For my property, they put me up, shut me up, shut me up, put me up, shut me up, shut me up, and told a story of a bitch called Bathory, blood-sucking demon, queen of hell, sadistic killer, a monster tale, bathing in the blood of virgins, beautiful, drinking the blood of I've always been the hunter, nothing on my tail. But there was something in you I knew could make that change. To capture a predator who can't remain the prey, you have to become an equal in every way. So look in the mirror and tell me, who do you see? Is it still you? Or is it me? Become the beast. We don't have to hide. Do I terrify you? Or do you feel alive? Do you feel the hunger? Does it howl inside? Does it terrify you? Or do you feel alive? Splinters of my soul cut through your skin and burrow within, and burrow within. Splinters of my soul cut through your skin and burrow within, and burrow within. So embrace the darkness, and I will help you see that you can be limitless and fearless if you follow me. We are the lions in the world of lies. We are the predators, the hunters, the hunters, the hunters. Become the beast. We don't have to hide. Do I terrify you? Do you feel alive? Do you feel the hunger? Does it howl inside? Does it terrify you? Or do you feel alive? Splinters of my soul cut through your skin and burrow within, and burrow.
Allegiances.
Oh yeah, pretty obvious. Lily and
We are
Steve.
transition. We're back.
Okay.
Hoops.
Hey, we were just chatting.
We were just chatting about Lily and Steve. So you can continue what you're saying if you want.
Yeah.
On stream. Welcome back from break, everybody. We're back. I kind of surprised the two players by they didn't get enough notice to know that we were back. But guess what?
We're back.
We're back.
We're back.
So welcome back to DC by Night. Vengeance Waits. Storyteller just popping that shit in there. All surprise on them. But it's been an interesting session so far and an interesting episode in general. I know Lily wants to meet with Wayland. Is she going to meet with Wayland before Steve gets back or after?
No, because Steve will be back
pretty quickly.
pretty quickly. Because as soon as she got back, she sent Thomas to go get him.
Yeah, you were about an hour
Okay.
overall with Ludlow. So we resume where we were. Then you coming back from
Okay.
Ludlow's and you ride over. And Thomas, I mean, He's Thomas, so I mean, he doesn't. You don't seem to be acting odd or anything. It's just another night for 5 Humanity Steve Perry.
Right.
I mean, you're not one that has a lot of ethical constraints, to be honest. I mean, you could have less, but you could also have a lot more at 5 Humanity. So the ride over is pretty uneventful. It's pretty empty overall. You get back. Your meeting was with Karina at 1, but that was about a half hour, and then an hour with Ludlow 2:30. It's about 3:15.
Okay.
So there's still time for you if you want to go
If
over
I want to go.
to Wayland's tonight.
Okay. Yeah. Well, Steve is now back at the club,
Yep.
and I ask you to come to the conference room.
Okay.
Yeah, everything's fine. It was unpleasant, but I'm okay.
Okay.
And Wayland and Raphael are spared.
Wonderful.
So
I did impart the information to
Good.
Dr. Ludlow just before you had.
okay, perfect. That way, because I know that there is an expiration date on this being effective,
Mhm.
and I'm not gonna lie, Prince is pissed. Really pissed. So if something happens to me and you, or me or you,
Mhm.
he's got to get it out there.
He will.
Okay.
He made that.
Okay, because
And
it
he
could
understands- he
happen. It could
understands.
happen. It could happen tomorrow. It could happen a week from now. It could happen a month from now.
And he was completely unsurprised. This was totally. But
In character for me, in his eyes.
Mhm.
Do you tell her what your suspicions were on hunger? Because you wouldn't use course 4, but you would know he was
yeah.
in quite hungry mode. So
Yeah.
just curious.
Oh, he was hungry.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Because Lily's seen him.
I have seen him at Hunger 4. Yeah, at Hunger 4, he gave me a syringe that I thought would just knock a guy out, and it killed him. So yeah, it makes sense that he would have been
Well,
like
it did
that.
knock him out.
Yeah, when he's really hungry, he kind of becomes ethically gray. Yeah, that's the best way.
Morally bankrupt, I think.
Yeah,
is a
ethically kind of gray. Yeah. So yeah, but that's good. That's good. He had his wits about him.
Oh,
so
very
yeah.
much so.
Good. Okay, good. And because he's kind of tertiary and removed for me, he's not an immediate thought as to someone that would be one of my birds.
That's
So,
right.
Yeah, so that's good. Okay. Good.
My meeting with Karina.
Yes, how did that go?
I have to pay the price as completely as I expected.
Okay.
It was not an inexpensive.
Okay. Okay.
And that is, I think that's a discussion we could have.
Okay.
You're in the conference room, I see.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yes.
Yeah.
You don't need to tell me the details.
You don't need
As
to,
lo-
but if you want to.
Yeah,
you
you
know.
don't need to tell me the details.
So
I'm not
then-
going to tell you all the details of what I
Okay.
negotiated with Stanford,
Of course.
but because I can put 2 and 2 together. I'm pretty politically savvy, so I'm pretty sure she'll be using your position as a tool
Oh, yes.
for her.
It will be.
Yeah.
and
Oh,
I
but
will
do you
be-
tell her the true extent of what she told you, though? Because there's more to it that you don't know about that Karina revealed. You know, because she revealed the actual reason for the blackmail, which Lily knows nothing about.
So why is she
Yeah, there's the
raking you
question.
over the coals like this?
Well, it's an opportunity for her to gather more intel
Okay,
and exert some control.
but why?
She doesn't want to be prince, but she wants the power.
Well, I understand that. Did something happen?
How do you mean happen?
It define happen. There's a riot.
There was a riot, yes, but I know because I was there, but
Well, some things happened at the Octagon House.
oh shit.
Yes.
But you don't know anything. Wait a minute. Did you told her about your phone call? Didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
told.
There
oh,
were consequences.
Fuck.
Somehow,
Okay, what happened?
the Second Inquisition hit them.
Oh my god.
They didn't find much. Only
Well, of course they wouldn't. I mean, the Tremere have their shit on lockdown. But
only a few items, relics, the cross of Saint, the Order of Saint Leopold.
That's an
You know
egg
this
all
is
new.
bad, though. So bad. Because their chantry is compromised.
Yes.
Oh,
that
Velois is
makes-
gonna be livid.
That makes
I
sense
believe
about what
he's-
Karina told you.
I believe.
Huh?
That makes sense about what Karina told you, that the Pontifex is a little bit pissed.
I mean,
believe-
Karina told me he was upset, but of course
Oh, I
she
believe-
downplayed.
I believe livid is an
he's-
understatement.
Yeah. Oh my god. Oh, so glad I had nothing to do with that. Oh my god.
No, she tells me that, in return for my cooperation on certain things, that the records of where the calls came from and who was responsible will remain hidden.
Oh, thank God.
Actually, she told you that it would suggest it was a tertiary,
Right.
they were waiting for an opportunity. It had
Right.
nothing to do with phone calls.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh my god. Thank God. Okay.
But the price for which is
Yeah,
high.
that's a high price, but I understand why now. Okay.
You just don't know what the price is.
No,
He
and
didn't
I
tell
don't.
you,
I don't
yeah.
want to know. I don't want to know because if he doesn't tell me, then yeah, he's safer that way.
So it's Lily.
Yeah, Lily's safer to not mention what exactly strings she pulled either.
But just something to keep in mind.
Oh my God.
Considering what I'm just saying, what I learned how Karina handled this, just suspect that all of our communications are under surveillance all the time, and that she will know.
Oh, of course she will. Of course she will. That's why I'm very careful on
Even
the phone.
burner phones.
Even
Won't
burner
stay
phones.
burners long.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So okay. Crud. I was gonna work a deal with her with the boon she owes me to get some secure phones.
You get
Yeah, they'll be
phones,
secure.
all right.
Yeah, they'll
Sort
be
of.
secure, all right.
Securely reporting to her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Shit. Okay.
She is very good
Okay.
or very bad. Depending on how
I'll
you
have to.
look at
I'll,
it.
I'll have to talk to my boys to see if they can't get their hands on some. Okay. All right.
Uses the cell towers. You can't count on it being secure.
I know
But we can burn the GPS receiver out so that it doesn't pinpoint you, but
where you
still,
are.
The
They
tower
just- they just-
triangulation.
that gets you every time. It won't
Yeah.
get as
It
accurate,
won't get
but you'll
accurate.
still
The
know
general
which
region.
three and a general strength, which gives you a rough idea of where. Not as accurate
Okay.
as the GPS.
All right. Well,
Right.
I'm glad that
It's in a block
we
or two.
both survived our meetings.
Yes. Good to see you again, Lily.
Good to see you too, Steve.
I
Good.
like how you put that. Both survived our meeting.
Yes. Okay. Wow. Okay. So, Steve, be very careful on the phone.
I will keep my mouth shut.
Good. Good. Please.
He's like, I don't think I need a phone much anymore.
Yeah. No.
I won't call anyone. I'll let them text me.
So, and thank you for doing the favor for me.
Of
Thank
course.
you. I needed that insurance. I really did. Okay, because he threatened me at first.
Mm,
So, and I had to throw out the fact that I have little birds. He doesn't know who, but I told him I have little birds.
Would you expect anything less?
Yeah, exactly.
Knowing Stanford.
mhm.
So,
Though, wouldn't you be interested to see what Ludlow's already put together on it?
Yeah, I would.
do you tell Lily about his dossiers?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I would love to sit down and review
So
those.
would
with
I.
them.
Because Ludlow has a background in criminal psychiatry with a specialization of criminal psychology, and he's a noted actual expert on it. He's got fame related
Yeah.
to it.
I
He's
would
very
love-
good at what he does.
Oh, I'd be fascinated to see what he wrote about me. It's probably going to be unflattering, but that'd be fun still.
And it helps when he's in Hunger 4 because
Then he's analytical.
he doesn't attach the emotional attachment that some people would do to compiling these dossiers.
Okay,
It's
so-
very objective.
And HIPAA.
He doesn't give a shit.
He doesn't give a shit about HIPAA. So basically, okay, so you good? You can stay here tonight, but just know that we are at risk now.
Yes.
Okay. I'll have the guys keep watch around the clock, and lights are going to be on all over the club everywhere.
Yes.
Okay, because
Good idea.
they ain't going to be shadows anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I've got to head over to see Wayland. I need to resolve this tonight. So
Do you need company?
no, I think I'll be okay.
So you're planning to light all the lights
Yeah.
in the club. Turn it to max brightness.
Max
everywhere.
brightness everywhere. We don't care about light to sleep.
It's very odd, Steve, with all the lights on it. It makes you slightly uncomfortable. You don't know why.
Okay.
Just a little uncomfortable. Just set your teeth on edge, but not. You don't know why. You've not really had a problem with lights,
All right.
but just sets you just it doesn't feel right to you. You think that there should be more shadows and just not as brightly lit. But other than that, I mean, there's no negative effect to it. So you are going over. You and
Back to
Steve's
black.
thing. It's about 3:30 now, so you've got roughly just about an hour
Hour and a
before you
half.
have to. Well, an hour before you have to
Hour.
rush back
That's fine.
because that gives you enough time just in case to get back.
It's fine.
Because it's summertime. By 5 a.m.,
It's starting to get
it's light enough to
light
bother
enough.
you. So,
Yeah.
okay. You
Yep.
going? Having Thomas drive you? Where are we going, ma'am?
Black magic again.
Yes, ma'am. Same back entrance?
Yep.
Okay. When you pull around, I mean, the roads are like empty at
It's
this
empty.
point.
It takes me like 6 minutes to get there.
Yeah, if that actually, because you're
Yeah.
only like to see 2 blocks out of your domain,
2-3 blocks. Yeah.
and then 4 blocks with no traffic.
Yeah, like 5-6 minutes to get
If
there.
that took
Yeah.
you longer to get in the car and get it
Yeah.
out of the garage and out of the
Yeah.
alley. So when you get there and you pull up out back, of course, you can tell all the lights are on inside. Of course, the outside lights are still off.
Mhm.
All the lights are on inside. You go back to the back door again
And knock. Mhm.
When you knock on the door, little viewport slides open,
Mhm. It's Lily.
closes, and Raphael opens the door. You can see sitting in the corner behind the door frame, shotgun was
Oh, of course.
was there,
Of course.
sawed off double barrel.
And I look at it and I look at it and say, smart. All good. All
Are
good.
you sure?
All good.
Okay.
Let me go
Come
talk
in,
to him.
please
Let
come
me-
in. Come
Let me
in,
go
come
talk to him.
Yeah, he's still
I'm
in his
gonna-
office.
I'm gonna
but
want you
he's
both
calmed
in.
down a little bit, but
I'm going to want you both in there.
not a problem.
Okay.
I mean, I gathered up the important things we needed just in case.
Just in
but,
case. You're good. You're good.
Okay, well, let's go back and see him. And
Mhm.
welcome to the Black Magic,
Of
Lily. Of
course,
course, you
of
know,
course.
as I've said before.
And officially welcome to Clan Toreador. Your unlife has been
well,
spared.
as far as I understand the process, I'm not presented yet. So officially,
No, but you're still a member of the clan.
okay. I mean, I
You're
just
just
know
not
a little bit about how
official.
this
You're not
works and all,
official
but-
a member of society as a whole in the city yet because you haven't been presented, but you are a clan member.
Well, I suppose that's one good thing to come out of it, of course.
Mhm.
If I'm in the illustrious company of you, it's always great. And he leads you down, of course, to the office. And when you go in there, Waylon he's got his feet up on the desk. And he's leaned back in his chair with just arms behind his head. So what's the punishment? And you see, he's
It's
not.
Renee.
Yeah, he's not, but he's not putting on the face right now.
All's taken care of.
Really?
Really. Both of you are spared.
One day you're gonna have to tell me how you did it. But I get the feeling that I probably don't want to know right now.
You don't.
And
was very
so what is the
unpleasant.
cost to me and to Raphael?
Well, we already
and
discussed.
he looks at Raphael. I'm not going to call you child. I don't. You're Raphael. Cost to me and Raphael.
I will address him as Raphael as well, because that's who he is to me as well. We've already discussed certain things I request of the Herald.
I did not see a problem with that.
I want
well,
you
I
bo-
did, but I didn't.
I want you both bonded to me.
Oh, I've already offered you. And Raphael goes, okay. I don't really know about this bond thing.
You're going to drink my blood for a series of nights, and you will be bound to me.
Well, but I'm already, I work for...
No, you will be bound to
Okay,
me.
so-
Your will.
I'm new to this here. I know
Mm-hmm.
I've been around Raphael or Wayland a while, but I mean, we didn't go into a lot of
I
details.
kind of
I've just
got the
picked up
impression
bits and
that even
pieces.
though you were his ghoul, you were not dominated by will.
Well, no, he lets me do what my thing.
I generally will let you do your thing as well, but you will be prone to wanting to please me.
he looks over at Waylon, and Waylon's like, I don't know much on it myself, Raphael, but for some reason, most people who become ghouls, well, they became flunkies of whoever they drank from. Let's put it, in the terms we know. You just you become a servant, and for some reason, it doesn't. When I made you a ghoul, it didn't do that to you. It doesn't. So I don't know why. Let somebody who studies these things figure it out. For all I care.
That's okay. Sometimes flukes happen.
But it doesn't. So Raphael's like, wait. So I'm going to be become your servant?
Not exactly. It's mostly an insurance policy for me. You are newly embraced, even though you've been within our society for some time as Waylon's basically side guy.
Yeah, I've been.
I
know of the society, but I've not been part of it because,
right.
Well, Wayland already told me the less I know, the better.
Exactly.
It was safer for me.
And it's just kind of an insurance policy that you don't fuck up enough to get yourself killed.
Well. He looks over at Wayland and goes, I'm not normally the one who fucks up. And Renee gives him the finger. Wayland, but Renee gives him the finger.
And I'm aware of this, but you are new. So it's a guarantee that hopefully you don't step too far out of line.
Raphael, you hear Wayland / Renee? I could just kill you. I'm allowed to now.
And I look at him, I say, you're not.
Raphael's like,
that.
yeah, I know. You've been able to kill me for years, yada, yada. Now you're seeing a bit more of the interplay that you haven't seen before in the past, because you've never really actually seen those two together.
Right.
Actually, you've never seen them together. Mm-hmm. They're normally one or the other, but not both.
And I tell
you, see in the friendship a little bit.
You boys are so cute. Now, let's go ahead and do this.
Boys.
Darling, I guarantee I'm older than you by far.
Raphael goes, far be it from me to ever try to ask a woman her age or anything, so I'll believe you. And Renee or Wayland, it's Renee actually, who's in control right now. He just kind of laughs. You always were smart on that one. I mean. So
I offer my wrist to both of them.
Okay. And that's 2 rouse checks for you.
Okay.
What hunger were you at?
I'm at 1. That's a success.
Okay, that was Wayland's.
Okay. And that's a success.
Okay. And Raphael gets done. He goes, I don't feel any different.
You won't yet.
Not as hungry anymore, though. Thanks for that.
You're welcome.
Do you ever get used to this blood thing, though? I'm just
Eventually,
curious.
you'll come to enjoy it.
I mean, granted, I would drink some of his, but it wasn't much, and it tastes different now to me. It's. I'm sure I'll have to get used to it. And Renee looks at him. Yeah, you will. You'll learn to savor it, and you
will come.
It's like
to
a
enjoy
vintage
it.
of wine, or in our case, a good bourbon. A good cognac from when we were alive. Stuff that we couldn't afford, but you'll taste some good stuff and some bad stuff. It's something you get used to.
And so I tell them that I will be by again for a number of nights. And I say this is also to protect you guys in case Stanford decides he wants to try to bond you. Because if you're bound to me, you can't be bound to him.
Here comes questions, Raphael, again. So wait a minute, you can't be bound.
You can't be bound to more than one at the same time.
So if I was bound to Wayland,
you wouldn't take a bond.
Okay.
So that's why we'll do this subsequent
But how
night.
does this? Wait a minute, I'm not a ghoul anymore, so I don't have to worry about having to feed from Wayland anymore every month. So
it would wear off.
This is confusing. Okay, I'll listen.
When we have more time, I'll be happy to educate you on it.
Yeah, I'm going to have to learn. I mean, I picked up, like I said, a lot. I know about the traditions, and I know a lot of the stuff I can.
We'll talk about the mechanics when we have more time.
There's some. Some of it don't make sense, but that's fine. I mean, I'm sure I'll love spending company with you, and Wayland / Renee, Renee.
Wayne.
Yeah, or Reland. He just kind of chuckles a bit.
Mm-hmm.
I really should just let Waylon take back over because he loves this shit.
Oh, well, you know. Maybe at one time we can get you two to get along.
Why?
Why not? It's the best of both worlds.
No, I don't need that pussy. He's weak. He serves his
But
uses.
he has strengths too.
Yeah, he serves his uses.
Because, you know, brute force isn't always the way.
Yeah, but, you know, to be honest, this is my body, and
I get
I'll
it.
let him use it once in a while I, you know, relax, chill, but he's not getting it. It's mine.
Okay. I'll see you tomorrow.
Oh. See you tomorrow. That would be, you know, I don't think we're going to be open tomorrow. Raphael's like,
No, we're not going to be open either. Our club is intact, but it's not ready to be open.
well, we've got to replace. Raphael goes into business, but we've got to replace the front window. We've still got to clean up out front. I think I'm going to have to get shutters installed this time so that in case something like this happens, we can pull the shutters down.
Yeah,
Be a better
that's what
idea.
we have at mine, and it works well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and, you know, we still have the smoke issue to deal with, so we have to get that out. There was a fire.
Luckily, we weren't.
There was a fire near our club. It was bad.
Okay, I've seen how Wayland reacts when he sees fire. It's not
Yeah, that's no
pleasant.
good for us. So good night, fellas. I've got to run. Time to turn in soon.
Let me walk you out. And Renee just goes back to with his feet up on the desk, and he seems to be thinking.
And I just look at him and say, "Have a good rest, darling." And I walk out.
No problem, Lily darling. You can tell he's putting on a.
Yeah, he's being an ass.
He's acting like a sarcastic Wayland as you're leaving. But Raphael's like, I thank you for what he won't thank you for it, but I thank you, of course, Lily, for what you've done for us.
Thank you.
Wayland will thank you.
I imagine Wayland was falling to pieces.
Well, that's why Renee is in charge. It's hard to deal with at times because I've at this point I've known both for
A long
a
time.
very long time, and you know I see good in each one in certain ways, but also see bad in each one in certain ways. It's hard to deal with at times, but I mean he is who he is, and
One day we'll have to talk about what happened.
I'm not even sure really myself fully what happened. I'm not, but I
If
know.
you've known him that long, you're bound to know something that maybe you haven't put it together.
Yeah,
So.
I've got at least a timeline.
Yeah. So we'll
Guess I
talk
got all
later.
eternity at this point. I guess.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's going to be an interesting one to deal with. But thankfully, I don't have any family because,
that's
well,
good.
I've been doing this for years. So,
Yeah.
well, you have a good night, Lily, and
you too, darling.
be safe out there. Obviously, the streets aren't safe.
I know. I know.
Okay, so you go back, and Thomas is waiting out back still.
Yep. So we head back to the club.
Okay, and you get back, and it's real close to
Real close to bedtime.
bedtime.
And I've arranged for a courier to pick up the letter during the day when people can be more out and about.
No, that's not how you do it. You did put blood on a ring that you have that you
Okay.
keep in a jewelry box.
Yeah, I basically
Yeah.
do what I need to do so that the courier comes.
It's just a very simple, just a little thumb of blood across it, and it
Mm-hmm.
lets individuals know things. So, and did you tell your guards that you'll have there'll be somebody picking up? So it's nighttime or daylight. You all bed down for the night. So, hang on a second. So while daylight comes, and both Lily and Steve have a pretty restful night or day. I should say you don't have no more dreams for you this night. It's nice and peaceful, and you wake up. Rouse checks, please.
Success. Wow. I'm just not getting hungry.
Hunger.
Yep, 3 now.
Yeah. Well, the beast doesn't speak to you at the wake up, so you come to just as the sun sets and your dead limbs start moving again, and you come to wakefulness, and it's another day. And the ring's still on your finger, and you wake up, and it's another day. You got stuff going on, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to want to go feed.
Okay.
It's going to be very well. Actually, it's going to be a little easier because people aren't out
Or
on the
home.
street; they're home,
Right.
which makes it a little easier.
And you can drive your car to wherever. Yeah.
Though it's better to drive one of the black SUVs, a lot less eyeballs, and
Yeah.
less. It's harder to remember at this point with all the black SUVs driving anywhere what any particular one SUV was doing. But your car is not a black SUV, and it would stand out. So, yeah.
And I mentioned to Lily, just like, smoke's still in here.
I know.
But Karina mentioned something about that there were fires at near a lot of havens.
I'm actually aware of that.
Okay.
One of the things that I specialize in at Elysium is gathering intel. So, yeah, there's been ones in her domain. There's been one in Glenn's domain. There was one near the conservatory, and now there's one near us.
Yeah, he wasn't there when True Death relayed info.
And Lily hasn't told anybody yet. So, yeah, I've been kind of keeping that in my pocket until I got more intel. But now that there's been one in my domain, I'm probably going to be talking to Dr. Philo to see if he can investigate and see what we can find out. I have a sneaking suspicion someone's behind them.
It's funny you mentioned that because you were told what Dr. Goodfellow told you what Dr. Philo was doing earlier in the night. So
Yeah.
you might be already on it. Yep. So what is the plans? You're going to go out hunting. We're going to let you do your hunt roll now.
And he can and I tell you that if you need to go out, you can take one of the cars.
No, thank you.
But you can't use your herd at the moment because your actual herd is
I'm fine.
club
I'm
goers,
at one
right?
hunger.
Okay, because your herd is club goers, which is
I've obviously been so upset by all the crap going on that I just have no appetite.
that's probably true.
Let's see. There's Dex.
Plus stealth. And you can get a bonus die for your break-in, right? Yep. You want to rouse the blood for another die and be at 4 hunger?
Oh God, no.
No, I don't think so. I didn't think so either. It's just, I'm just offering, for the stream. You don't get a bonus die from your power, though, because, it's not a power. It's just strength dex, so.
Yeah.
Or dex stealth, so it's not a power die. That's just from, for discipline.
For disciplines, yeah.
Yep.
3.
Yeah, you're hunting in the wreck, so that's enough.
Mm-hmm.
Though, when you get to Southeast,
It's
man,
pretty
it
rough.
took the brunt of the riots, to be honest. Large tracks are just wrecked. Fires were running amok down through there. You don't know what they're going to do to rebuild. I'm sure something will be done. But you've heard talk of a stadium being built in D.C. anyway, so there might be a chance for someone to snag up some real estate and do one. So it'd be interesting to see from a business standpoint whether, you've got investments, you know about that, whether that might be, happening. So, but the hunting goes off pretty easy. Everyone's at home. A lot of people wore out. Let me change my glasses real quick because I can't read my own GM screen with those. The joys of being blind. Ooh. Okay. I'm checking here. It is. Apparently, when you taste the blood of this person, you can taste the sadness in their blood again. This person obviously lost somebody. They seem to be in a deep kind of almost a depressive state from whatever had gone on in the city. There's a lot of just melancholy, kind of just dark emotions in the blood when you feed on it, and it doesn't go away right away. It lasts. So you've got an intense temperament on it, so it'll last until you feed again. And because it's melancholy, it adds fortitude or obfuscate, which you've got an obfuscate, I know that, and some fortitude. So
yeah, I have 3 fortitude and 1 obfuscate. I use fortitude more. So.
Yeah, but you get it for, it doesn't say either or. It boosts them both because that's what it's tied to. So, yep.
Yeah, it's just if you only have one of the two, it only boosts the one.
Yep. Okay. That's correct.
So I get 2?
You can get 2 dots out of it, yeah.
Okay.
You can get more if you want to try to take more, but
no, that's
So it puts you at what, 1?
Yep.
Okay. So you head back to the club. Still early in the night. I know you're planning
I've
to go
met with
see
Thomas first because
Okay.
we do this every
your
night.
status. Yep.
Hmm.
I know you're planning to go back to Wayland's at some point.
Yes.
But you haven't gone yet.
No.
When Steve, you see the vehicle pull up, of course, Steve pulls it in the garage. Ma'am, Steve's back, and the vehicle just pulled up front.
Okay. Do we recognize it?
It's vaguely familiar. Eh?
That's helpful.
Yeah,
Okay.
I know. Oh, wait a minute.
Oh,
Wait a minute.
who's getting out?
Trying to place the name. Give me a second. Mr. Sang
Oh,
is coming up to the front door.
okay.
Should I?
So I'm texting Steve, stay in the basement.
Okay, got it.
Have someone escort him in. I'll meet him in the conference room.
Okay. And, he sends, Ian's up again and moving around because it's been a whole day. So he's gotten his rest. So Ian goes and, actually Ian's working the camera room because that's where his
Yeah.
normal job. So it would have been Jeff
Okay.
at this point.
Hopefully his hand's healing.
Yeah.
Should be just
Seems to be,
bruised
I mean-
at this point.
If he broke it, it's still slightly broken, but it's
It's healing.
healing quickly.
Okay.
Because all the ghouls do is they heal twice as fast as a human.
Twice as fast. Okay.
So
So, if it
it's-
took like 6 weeks for a hand to heal, it
It'd be
takes 3
3,
weeks.
but
Yeah.
as I know from when my pinky was an unnatural angle, if you break the knuckle, you can put it back in place,
And it heals quicker.
and you can use the hand even if it hurts, though it doesn't function as well as it should. I
Yeah.
know for a fact. So, he brings up Velois.
Okay, so I'm in the conference room and Jeff escorts him in. And I look
Yeah.
at Jeff and I say, "How's the hand, dear?"
I mean, it's getting better. I can move it, but
That's good.
it still hurts, and you see his knuckles are a bit swollen. And
Make sure you ice that again.
yes, ma'am, I've been trying to. It's
Okay.
it's just a pain, It just
It'll be okay.
1, 2, and the 2.
I'm sure the other guy looked much worse.
Oh, he did. But, it's just
Okay.
he had a hard head.
And I look at Velois and I say, "Velois, it's so good to see you. Come on in."
Velois, he's of course wearing a nice suit like always, but
Mhm.
he looks upset.
Oh, of course he does. Please have a seat. Make yourself comfortable.
Well, I'm not going to be here long enough to sit.
Okay.
I am here because I'm calling together the Primogen tomorrow night. We need to have a Primogen council meeting to discuss events. This whole damn riot thing that went on.
Absolutely.
I did some investigating on my own, and this was not a natural occurrence, of course. So, yes, we need to have a Primogen council meeting.
Okay.
Don't know where it's going to be because, let's just say the Octagon House is unusable.
I'm very sorry to hear that.
I had some unexpected visitors during the riot. Some of, shall we say, religious. And
Oh my gosh.
I know this is a safe room, but
Yes.
nowhere's that safe.
No. Oh my gosh.
There was apparently a society meeting at my chantry that I was not told was coming.
Oh no.
We're all fine, but
Good.
we have to relocate. So,
Truly, Velois, if I can assist in any way, please. let me
as a
know.
matter of fact,
Please let me know.
this room,
Mm-hmm. Primogen Council meeting?
yes,
Absolutely.
seems as good a place as any, considering
Absolutely.
I am currently going to make sure all of them know. What about Primogen Steve? We know.
I will notify him.
Now, of course, I will not be there. I am not the Primogen. Cone is going to be there. But you can rest assured that Cone will be speaking.
Oh, of course.
Um,
Of course. That's a given, honey.
yes, he'll be expressing the desires of the chantry as a whole
Mm-hmm.
and the position of the pontifex on the situation.
When shall we all meet?
11 p.m. tomorrow.
11 p.m.
Sound good?
Sure.
You're the first one I came to because
No,
you're
this
close.
is perfect. This is perfect.
I still have to track down.
I can make sure that we are all set up to receive the council.
I have to track down that bastard Granger still, of course, to get him invited. Felix, I know where he is. He's easy to find. So, yeah, that's you too.
And I will notify Steve.
Okay, no problem, no problem. Because we've got to discuss the visit that was paid on the chantry,
Absolutely.
of course. And
Absolutely.
again, this is not natural what went on these last 2 days, and we need to get to the bottom of how this all happened.
I
because,
agree.
In many ways, this is, while not an explicit masquerade breach, it's the unnatural origin of it suggests it could be one. So
Yeah.
I'm sure you understand.
It was very distressing for sure.
Yeah. Your club seems to be intact.
Well, when you have the amount of staff I have to protect it.
Know of anyone else that might have got hit?
Wayland's did. Maybe. But his was hit mostly by the riots, I believe. Haven't heard anything yet of religious visits to others at this time. But I haven't had a chance to speak with everyone yet.
Very odd that they hit just my place in your haven. I haven't heard of any others either, but one way or another, we'll get to the bottom of this.
Absolutely.
I may have to talk with Karina because she always seems to have information from that direction. Maybe she can help out.
She might have some intel for you.
Well, I'm not going to keep you for long. I've got
Okay.
to go. I've got people to notify.
Absolutely. But tell them,
but
please, they are welcome here at 11 o'clock tomorrow.
Cone will be here, of course.
Of course.
Um,
It'll be nice to see him in my club again. I haven't seen him in a while here.
he's been busy.
Of course.
I have told him to not accept a $5 from his fellow Primogen. I still find that while it does insult the reputation of the pyramid,
Yes,
at the same time,
I'm sorry to laugh. I'm sorry.
he was a little uppity at one point and needed to be reminded that
Yeah.
he's not
Knocked
in the
down a
position
peg.
he thinks he is.
Yeah.
So,
But yeah, I have also advised Steve not to do that anymore.
well, I bid you good night. I've got
night,
things
darling.
I've got to go do.
Okay.
But
Be safe.
I stopped by here first to let you know.
Mhm.
And when he goes out, I assume he's escorted out.
Mm-hmm, he is.
And yeah, you can see by his movement, he is
Yeah, he's
very,
very
upset. Customer.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. So I basically am hoping for any potential news, and I was supposed to meet with George, the guy of my staff.
Yep.
Okay.
what are you gonna do? You gonna?
I'm just gonna ask him if he noticed anything strange about the new guy.
Well, ma'am, he was the new guy. He was only here a month. We didn't really get. I mean, his schedule didn't always match mine, because
Yeah.
we don't work every day. The club's only open certain days, and he seemed like a nice enough guy. I mean, he was kind of boring, but
Okay.
he didn't watch football. He didn't watch any of the sports that was on TV, so he didn't. We talked about the game.
Never mentioned anything of any interest.
No,
or
he did his
anything?
job and he was good at it, but he didn't really do. I know he's missing and we ain't seen him. Did you fire him or did he just
No,
quit?
he took
or-
off.
Oh,
He took off abruptly.
yeah.
Little suspicious.
I hope nothing was missing because we didn't see him take anything, ma'am. But I haven't seen him he wasn't stealing.
Did he leave anything here? Because all you guys have been staying here for a little while I rotated the shifts around a bit.
Well,
but-
that was just for this. He didn't bring anything for the riots or anything. He just,
Interesting.
he had a change of clothes
And that was about it.
that was it.
Yeah.
And all he brought for a change of clothes was more uniforms.
Okay.
So
Okay. Thank you so much, George.
No
Keep
problem,
up the
ma'am.
great work,
I'm
and I promise you guys
I'm
for
not in
having.
trouble for anything, no,
No,
right?
not at all. I do promise, though, with you guys that I'm going to make sure that you get some good bonuses for this amount of
Well, I mean,
work you've been putting in.
look, ma'am, my family just likes. I mean, my wife misses I'm not home, but I mean, she loves extra money. It's double time and a half. You're paying. I mean, it's early in the year. You're paying for Christmas this week, so I mean, she's not going to complain.
Of course.
And she didn't live in the city, so we didn't have to worry about her because
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
even with the nice money you're paying, relatively speaking, it's enough to buy
No.
anywhere I'd put my kids in this city.
No.
So
no.
we're out a bit, but
Yeah. Okay. Well, good. Well, and I'm glad everybody's okay.
well, ma'am, it's family's doing okay, and
Good.
I mean, we survived through it. It was crazy. I've never seen something like this. This is nuts.
Neither have I.
I'm kind of shocked that you brought us all in, but now that it's happened, I'm glad you did. I didn't expect to be brought in, ahead of time and all. But hey, it worked out, I guess. In the end.
I had a sneaking suspicion that things were about to go really bad up in this place.
Yeah, well,
I just had that suspicion, and I thought to err on the side of caution. And
hopefully
I appreciate
it all
all
calms
the work.
down because
I believe it will. I
mean,
believe
we're
it
not
will.
open, and we
Right,
should be open.
I know. Trust me, this is hurting my bottom
Yeah,
line
'cause-
right now. But you guys, it's more important to make sure you guys are taken care of.
See, so what day is this?
This is
What day is it? It's
Friday.
right. It would be the 5th. It was the 4th, and then you slept
The 5th. Now
today's
it's the 6th.
which is
It's a Friday.
6. Yeah, you should be open right
Mm-hmm.
now, but you're not. Though you suspect you'll probably in a day or two be able to.
I've got to get the freaking smell out of the club. It's driving me crazy.
Yeah, you think you're supposed to have somebody come in to look at it in about 2 days.
Okay, good. 'Cause
They are backed up.
Yeah.
Unless you want to throw extra money at it.
No,
but,
it's fine.
you got resources a bit tied up at the moment.
if we
so-
take the week off for the 4th of July, it's fine. And then basically the following week we reopen.
Yeah.
That's fine. Because, I mean, plus I'm going to have the primage in here tomorrow night. And I just don't need all that.
Nope.
So,
Okay. So he leaves the room and Thomas comes in after.
okay, good.
I mean,
It's good.
Gus and Al checked out, ma'am.
Okay, and so did George. I mean, they didn't really notice anything truly unusual, but George did mention to me that, like, when they were called in to stay here and work rotating shifts, that all he brought in for an extra set of clothes was another uniform.
I mean,
That's a little odd.
we thought he was just dedicated. Well, I've seen this before, ma'am, where, I've seen people do it, but, we just thought he was hoping to buck up for a promotion, though, that doesn't work that way around here.
Not really.
But, we just thought he was another one of them suck ass trying to look like ultimate professional, and we didn't think nothing of it at the time.
Okay.
Sorry, ma'am. It's
That's okay. That's okay. Just if anyone seems a little too squeaky, bring him to my
a
attention.
little too squeaky.
Yeah.
He's squeaky.
Yeah, he's a little too squeaky clean. So when that happens again, just make sure you bring my attention to it before
Yes,
you hire
ma'am.
him.
Well,
Okay.
We've made a note. We've had a talk about it. We're going through all the personnel jackets.
Good.
Again.
Scrub them.
Yeah, we're double checking because we didn't get anybody else from that one. We only hired him from that one.
From that agency?
From that agency because we were wanting to see, of course.
Test them out. Yeah.
Right.
We will not be hiring from them again.
Yes, ma'am. We just wanted to see how good it provided, whether what they showed on paper was matching what they were given.
Because at the bare minimum, he's unreliable and possibly
yeah,
shady
he's
because
not
we
here.
don't. Have we found anything missing?
No, ma'am. We haven't found anything missing.
Okay.
But he's not here, and well.
Have we found anything altered?
Not. I mean, how would we know, ma'am? I mean, I understand.
Well, I don't know.
Wait a minute, though. You're right. You guys mentioned about the cameras messing up.
Did y'all investigate that?
Not yet, ma'am. We've been doing the other stuff.
Get on it.
I'm trying to think of the. Man, I need to talk to Steve about this because Steve
check
knows the
our
layout
wiring.
better than I do.
Check our
he ran the
wiring,
cameras.
check our tech, check everything, see if we've been compromised. Okay.
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 Yes, ma'am.
All right. So I'm gonna have is Scott able to drive now?
I mean,
He had a cut injury.
cut, but his hand works. It's just,
Okay, that's fine. If he can drive, I'll have him drive me over. I do let you know. I stopped down where you are and let you know it was Velois that came over, and I just didn't want you up there in case he was pissed at you. Just in case.
He didn't let on at all that he knew anything?
Not about you, but he did say what happened, and we're having a Primogen Council meeting
just that.
upstairs.
He knows that the riots weren't.
Oh yeah, he knows that the riots weren't natural.
Yeah, they were unnatural.
That they were unnatural.
Mm-hmm.
So he wants that investigated too. Yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Good luck with that.
when your boss is suppressing the info, good luck with that. But yeah, so but anyway, the Primogen Council meeting is 11 p.m. tomorrow up in the conference room.
Okay.
Okay, all the Primogen are coming here.
Even come?
Yeah, even come,
Even Granger?
even Granger.
I'm less happy about that one, but
Yeah,
I bet you are.
it'll be fun. It'll be fun.
And then Lily has to go over to meet with
I'm meeting with Waylon and Raphael.
to do the
To do the next bond.
bond
Mhm.
again. And what else y'all got planned? I think that's the big things.
I'm also going to text.
You need to go intelligence technology because Thomas does come to you, ask about the layout,
Okay.
and starts talking about, if you were trying to put a cutout,
mm-hmm.
where would you do it? And you know
Right.
the layout, so roll intelligence plus
Okay.
technology to see if you can think about it.
I text Angelique. Are you okay? L.
Takes a while before you get a response. But she does respond.
4.
Bros and I are okay.
And I say, glad to hear it. Take care.
Sure. And you can almost hear the sarcasm dripping off that.
Whatever.
What'd you
Just
get?
making sure.
4? That's actually a pretty good roll. Of a couple spots where if you wanted to tap through and put a cutout or a false feed, because of the way the wires are run, a couple spots, because these aren't IP cameras, these are real cameras, because otherwise shut your network down and you lose it all. Of a couple places where if you were wanting to put some taps in, it wouldn't be hard.
Okay. So go and look at those areas, see if there's any damage to the cables, anything suspicious.
You do find some freshly installed barrel tees, signal splits that basically feed into a pipe in the room, because you don't keep these where they cut by, and goes into the sewer system. It's an old drainage pipe that wasn't being used because you didn't. This was just one of the back rooms where you're running cables conveniently through. Yeah, there's somebody put a T on it and snake some shit into the sewers. Yep.
Okay, so
They're still hooked up.
okay. Well, see if I can find where they go.
Okay, so you're going down in the sewers. Generally the layout. Exactly where they were. It's not any of the paths you normally walk, but yeah, you come down and find sticking through basically wires hanging down that have been cut and just left hanging. So whoever did it, cut it and run.
Okay.
But you can see definitely where they terminated. Somebody had something down here. You don't know what. They'd have to have power somewhere to it to feed through, but they were.
It could have been on battery. So.
Yeah. It's a little shut off. The little barrel tees they put on, it's just a video flip flop that as long as no signal's coming from one, it feeds through. But as soon as current hits it from the other signal, it shunts it off the first signal and feeds only the second signal. So, you do the same shit. Honestly, you know exactly how they did it. You don't know how they got it in there, but that's not a room you have cameras in either, because it's not a main part of the building. It's just a side room that was basically not even a comm closet. It was just, where you ran cables, an old broom closet type area that isn't even used anymore because, this club before you had it, there was a big restaurant here at one point a long time ago. So it's got lots of sinks, drains, kind of stuff. God, like numb right here, just here on this end, just this end. Nowhere else, just
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
Well, seems to me like this room would be a good candidate for that big camera.
Oh, I know which camera you're talking about. The one that you're pretty sure you figured mostly out how it works. So. It definitely uses a combination of thermographics to detect body heat, but it also seems like they're using a laser. It's almost what you've heard of. You've never seen it before, but you heard of the tech where they use a laser to detect sound off of windows in a building, pick up vibrations of the windows. They seem to be using one with this camera that does periodic sweeps with the thermographic at hot spots or cool spots, technically, looking for certain vibrations.
Okay.
Your best get is it checks to see if the person's chest moves with a beat of a heart, maybe.
Okay.
You could see how it could be useful. You've never seen the tech applied this way. Hell, you've never seen this tech before. But it's all, none of it's cutting edge. It's just a different application of other stuff. I mean, you know for a fact, you've read the reports where the CIA uses the lasers off the windows to pick up window vibration to hear what's going on. It seems to be just a combination of like two different techs to do it.
Okay.
But you're going to put that camera and wire that in. It takes a little bit more effort to wire in than a normal camera because it doesn't feed the same way. But you could run it without.
I'm not looking to necessarily get the video feed.
Right. You could run it without the feed and just use the alarm person. It would just go off.
Yeah, that's what I would like to.
Okay.
Run that up in the security room.
We'll remember that one. It's going to take you a day or two
while.
to get it hooked up. But, I mean, you've got the basis. You've been working on it for almost a month now on that one. The hard drives, on the other hand, that you've been holding on to, you're not making much progress. The encryption is
strong.
Yeah, it's hard to beat unless it's a weak cipher, and you haven't found the weakness yet. So,
all right.
Damn it! I want to know the data on there.
These days, the person has to be pretty incompetent for you to be able to easily break any kind of disk encryption. That's it's possible. You know, it's possible if they're using 64-bit encryption or a known compromised key, but most people don't.
So there's two more things I want to do.
Okay.
I got to go to Wayland's and get their next step in the bond. On the way back, I'm going to swing by the conservatory.
Okay. So the question is, okay, we will deal the Wayland. We'll just go past it. It's not
I go there, I get their bond.
But we're gonna play out the conservatory so we can see because it's easy to. They're gonna agree to it.
Yeah.
And they're gonna take the next
well,
step.
I mean, if nothing else,
Wayland does, or Raphael does comment again. He still doesn't feel any difference at all.
So he's unbondable.
Well, you've never heard of that before. You don't.
No, I wouldn't know. But
Lily doesn't know that exists.
Okay, that's fine. And if he doesn't, that's okay. I still believe that he will do what I instruct him to do.
Right. Well, unless you're shown as far as you know, the bond works.
Yeah.
Though you've been told by Raphael and Wayland that it never worked on Raphael.
Right.
So
and
careful if you let that slip.
Yeah, I won't let that slip, but
I don't know if you've read the rule book on Unbondable. If you've read the rule book on it, it's inferred that Tremere would love to get hold of somebody who's unbondable.
So I just say, when he tells me, okay, I still don't feel anything, I will
give it one more day, buddy.
Yeah, I'll say, we'll give it one more day. If you still don't, because I'll tell him flat out, I'll look at Wayland and say, look, I know you may not know if it worked because of you, but I know mine work. You feel something, correct? A little pull? Yeah. A little?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, it works. So I've done it before. I know mine works. If this doesn't work with him, we are keeping this on the down low.
Okay.
Okay.
And so now you're going over to the conservatory and there's no damage in this area. Of
Good.
course. Once again, you saw not just the conservatory.
I shot the fucker. I want to make sure he's okay.
When you get there, of course, conservatory's closed.
Of course.
There's a night guard out front, and when you pull up, can I help you, ma'am?
Yes. Could you please let Chaz know Lily is here to see him?
Yes, ma'am. Hang on a second. Then he goes in a little guard shack. You see him on the phone. Hangs up, comes out. He's busy, but is it like major importance? Not important?
I was just checking up on him. Things were a little intense the other night.
Okay, hang on a second, ma'am. Goes back in the thing, talks a bit. Ma'am, he says here.
Okay.
He wants to talk to you, and I'm to step out of the booth while you speak.
Just checking up on you, Chaz. Wanted to make sure you were safe.
How polite. Yes. You shot me.
I did.
I healed it.
Good.
But you shot me.
I did.
It's hard for me to say. thank you for your assistance.
You're welcome.
I was
I know. You don't
not
have to say.
myself, but thank you.
You're welcome.
I still don't like you.
I
But
understand.
I will acknowledge. Thank you.
Truly, it was my pleasure. And I hang up the phone.
Okay. Regardless, you didn't say you're good?
I'm good.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much for your assistance tonight.
No problem, ma'am. You know, I mean, I'll be honest, I don't get many visitors, and it's nice,
Yeah.
you know. A little pale for my taste, but,
Hey,
you know.
well,
hey,
not everybody's into the porcelain doll look.
Yeah. Feel free to stop by. You know, I'm here
Okay.
most nights. You know.
Thank you. And right now we are closed this week, but next week
What's closed?
I hand him my card. Succubus Club.
I've heard of you. I've heard of that
Mhm.
club. You know, I'm a little bit older for that kind of thing, but I've heard
We have all ages there. It's a fun
heard
time.
it's a great place.
It's a great place. Come on by. What's your name, by the
He's
way?
looking around. He tucks it in his thing.
Uh-huh.
He's wearing a coat because,
What-
you know.
And I ask him his name.
It's not like a thick, it's like a lightweight jacket, mainly because it hides his gun that he's got. I'm Ralph.
Ralph, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Well, maybe you'll see me again I got a card. I might as well check it out, right?
Come check it out. We'll be open
It'd
next.
be, it just wouldn't be right if I didn't at least check it out after.
I
you hand-
recommend Friday night next week.
next week. Yeah, because.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny too, because I mean, I've been through the city. It looks rough, but you wouldn't even tell anything went on here. Well, yeah, pretty much no, you wouldn't.
I
because,
know. I
mean,
know.
there wasn't even any bloodstains or any. I mean, it's
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
Very
but I'm not
weird.
gonna complain because I
No.
was worried that something would happen. I'd be out of a job or I wouldn't be able to work. And summertime,
Yeah.
I need the money so that we can, vacations are planned. And I like to go and me and my boys get together and go hunting. And
Oh. Okay.
you can tell he's kind of starved for
For attention?
company because there's
Mhm. Well,
nobody anywhere.
If you need money, we may have a vacancy at my club for a guard.
You may have to hitch up on that.
Uh-huh.
That's fucking evil. You're gonna steal a security guard from Chaz out front of the conservatory? That's fucking evil. That's not right. Damn. Well, we'll have to see.
I mean, right now, my guys have been putting in a lot of time, and they're making a lot of money right now.
Yeah, I'll think about it. I'll give it some thought because
Mhm.
like I said, we're wanting to go hunting, and
Mhm.
money's always important.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I have to give it some thought, and I may reach out and ask you, because you got to hear about the benefit. We'll have to hear about the compensation package. I might be persuaded though, because
Absolutely.
I'm always looking to
Get ahead.
move up a little
Yeah.
bit there. Yeah, let's be honest. You don't make a lot of money doing this.
No.
I should have listened to my mom and finished college, but
Hey, it's not for everybody.
no, it's not.
All right. Well, you have a wonderful night, Ralph, and I hope to see you next week.
Hope so.
All right.
I'll try and see what I can do.
Okay.
Okay. And then you return to the club.
Yep.
And this is where
We're
I
gonna
think
end
we're going to end this session. It's really interesting. It's an interesting thought that, honestly, that Dr. Ludlow is compiling dossiers on the kindred. And for those that, for the viewers, since we're done the session, Ludlow is an odd bird at times. At Humanity 4, he's not the same.
Not
as when he's
humanity.
Hunger 4, he's not the same as at Hunger 2 or at Hunger 1. And while you haven't really met him at Hunger 2, except briefly when he was healing up the wounds, expect to see him at that Hunger. And so for this session, we've hit the point. This was the road to hell. You know what they say about the road to hell, guys?
Paved with good
Paved
intentions.
with good intentions. Lily's good intentions to save Raphael and Wayland, or Renee, depending on who's talking, has cost her a lot, actually. Not only did she blackmail a prince, but he's right. Nosferatu never forget.
I know.
And kindred have a long time to harbor grudges, and he is, as Ludlow himself put it, bit of a sociopathic / borderline psychopath.
Mm-hmm.
He won't think for a
Well,
second
we just
or
hope
hesitate.
to outlive him.
Yeah, he won't hesitate for a second if he gets a chance to murder Lily, and
I
he'll
know.
do it, and you know he will.
I know.
But maybe Lily can make herself useful enough to survive the wrath
That's
of
the goal.
Stanford. And then, of course, good old Steve. Well, 2 little birdies, 2 different angles. That'll be an interesting thing to go. So let's just conclude with this, and we hope we see everybody next week with a full table, I hope.
Hopefully we'll have a full table.
Because
Hopefully they get better.
hopefully they get better, because they missed out on a lot. But
But now
again,
we're definitely at a point to pick up more with their stories.
yep, again,
so.
there was a lot that we could focus with just these 2. So it actually worked out for the better overall. So get well soon. And
Yeah.
as always, we are proud affiliates of Gehenna Gaming. I say this every week, and I don't care. I'm going to say it every week. If you like dark horror, you like dark games, video games, tabletop games, just pop onto the website. It's in the panels below. Go over to the Gehenna Gaming Discord. Come say hi to us. We're in McStabber's Lounge. We love talking. Everybody over there is good people, not just the dark horror and everything. They're all good people over there. I know they made a lot of new friends at PAX this past year. They were running a lot of games. So, I mean, pop on in, say hi. Let everybody know. Because we'll talk vampire. We'll talk vampire. They'll talk vampire. They'll talk cult, Call of Cthulhu. If it's a dark game, they're down. That's what they do. If you like more vampire, of course, after this episode is Macabre Derek's Detroit by Night. Again, dark, visceral. It's a great game. It's very tense. It's fun to watch. I don't think this is the week Vancouver by Night's doing anything, but go ahead and give Vancouver Night a follow.
Mm-hmm.
If you're interested in the streaming gear we have set up, of course, it's in the link below on the panel. You can see our setup, so that because people ask, so there it is. And then finally, we do this for the fun of it. We love sharing the show with everybody. But if you want to follow. If you want to subscribe. The money from subscriptions goes towards improving the channel and to make things better. Better cameras. My camera is an improved camera this week. Merry Christmas to me. Any donations and bits, that of course will go to the players. Of course, once we get fully paid out, well, that goes to the players for their time, because as much as we enjoy it, trying to help, share the wealth. That's what I say. So if anyone else would like to say anything.
Thank you guys so much for coming, and we hope to see you on our next stream.
And I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did.
Absolutely.
Because this is the darker
Yeah,
DC by
this is
Night.
a lot of fun, guys.
Yeah, it's not the same chronicle, or it's the
It's
same
tense.
chronicle, but it's not the same level of joviality it was before. So everyone, have a good night, and thank you for coming. And this time I'm going to go to the right exit screen and not surprise people with an appearance at a break when we weren't supposed to.